and we've had these different views on things, but we're gonna work through them because we want to be together. What is up, everyone? It's your girl, the Kiana, Simone, and I am back with another video. Now, of course, as I said in my last video, this video is specifically going to be what happened with K&D, and I never thought I would be back on YouTube, and I never thought I would be doing this video particularly. But you know when things happen to you in life and you're just like, this is a teachable moment. Like, this is so teachable, and like you just learn from it and you grow from it. Oh my god, wow. So like any relationship or whatever, you know, relationships go through problems, issues, whichever the case may be. And our relationship was no exception. I really hadn't taken notice to the problems in the relationship until, I guess, you know, when you look back at the signs and the conversations that we've had. It was kind of something that was just coming, but I didn't really see it or figure it out until it happened. But even then, that conversation didn't spark to me, didn't click that something was wrong. Because to me, and how I feel about relationships is, if you're willing to put that work in, if you're willing to put the effort in, then you can make it work until, I guess, you don't want to anymore. So I remember in April, we had taken a trip to California, and it was like a really amazing trip that we had. I've never been to California, so it was one of those things where it was like an eye-opening experience for me to just travel a lot. After this trip, I remember the night coming back of this trip, and we're walking her dog, and I just remember like stopping in the middle of the street, looking at her and crying. And she was like, what is going on? And I was like, something tells me that, like, I was like so scared of us not making it and so scared of us not being together. And at that point, I had no idea about us breaking up or nothing like that. But that particular moment in the street, I just felt like something is not right, but I wanted us to come above or progress whatever that conflict may have been. So it was crazy because she said she had the same feeling too, but we both just didn't know where it was coming from. In May, we had another conversation about how our lives as individuals were shaping out to be and what we wanted, and how we felt that we were kind of going in different directions, but we were trying to merge our lives together to be a unit. And then she was talking about, you know, things she wanted. I'm not going to go into that because that is her business. But she was talking about things that she wanted, and I was talking about things I wanted, but I just really wanted to go forward with her because, you know, I'm in love with her, so that's what I wanted. So it wasn't until June. So keep in mind, this is April, May, June. So it wasn't until June now where, you know, everything seemed like it was going okay. Just kind of focusing on the relationship and focusing on us. And at that point, we were trying to move to Seattle. We were trying to just like start a new life as a couple, I guess, and try to be us, you know, trying to be independent ladies who were, as she would put it, kicking ass and taking names. So June rolled around, and she had a trip that she was going on. She was going to California and then going to Tennessee to visit her best friend. And everything was fine when she was in California. We were talking all great and all good and blah blah blah. And then she got to Tennessee, and that's where things changed. Hours would go by and I wouldn't hear from her, and that wasn't like her. I didn't hear from her. It was probably like 2 or 3 hours. When I tell you, like 6, 7, 8 hours would go by and I didn't hear from her. When I tell you, like, she didn't even call to say, hey, like, have a good night or nothing like that. Like, that's when I knew something was wrong. For me, I was thinking like, okay, like, Kay, you need to calm down. Like, maybe you're over exaggerating, maybe you're overreacting, but you know, so when you have a feeling in your heart, when you have a feeling in your chest that something is not right, something's usually not right. I remember just like talking to my friends and being like, this is not normal from her. Like, this is not who she is, pretty much. And I'm not understanding why it takes her, you know, 6 hours to answer one question. Like, at this point, she wasn't even asking about like how her dog was doing or nothing like that. She wasn't asking me anything. She wasn't talking to me about anything. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe she's just like hanging out with her friends or whatever. Like, maybe she's just, you know, having fun. Like, she hasn't seen this friend in a while. And so it was like, okay, you know, she's doing her thing. But also, like, you have a whole girlfriend, so don't forget that. But also, like, she's gone places with people and still been able to like text me regularly when she's out. So I knew it wasn't that. And again, something just did not feel right. One night I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, I haven't heard from you. Like, I get it that you're hanging out with people, but like, what's up? And she was like, oh, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't really mean to, you know, distance myself from you or blah, blah, blah. It's just like really been hectic or busy or something like that. And I was like, okay. Then she ended up calling me the next day just to say like, good night, I love you, blah, 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 whatever. And even then that was, for me, it felt kind of forced. So then I believe she went skydiving with her friend. Well, I remember being at work and her like texting me that she was like getting up in the plane, going skydiving, and then she came off the plane and she was done and she had like a million different things going on. A couple of days after that, if not the day after, she comes back to New York. And she, like, her flight was delayed and blah, 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 blah. So she didn't end up coming back home until maybe, I know it was after midnight. That was a fact. It was after midnight. Like, she ended up taking a shower, coming back, and I don't know, so, like, when you're laying next to somebody that you've been laying next to for like a year, you know the connection. And then her laying down next to me that night, I was like, something is not right. But then I'm like, I'm still overreacting. I'm like, okay, whatever. I remember the next morning, she like wanted to get up. She drove me to the train station, and I'm like, no, you don't have to. Like, girl, I can walk. It's right there. It's not that deep. And she's like, oh no, I want to take you over. I'm like, girl, like, go to sleep. Like, don't worry about me. Like, go to sleep. And she's like, no. So like, she drives me to the train station, and I'm looking at her like you can just tell something is wrong. Like, something in her face like was just wrong. So this day was June 22nd. Like, oh my God. We were supposed to go to one of my friends' like surprise birthday parties or something like that that day, or after we both got off of work. We were supposed to go to my friend's birthday party, but something in me was like, you know what, I know this is my friend's birthday party, but like, something is telling me like, don't go to this birthday party and like hang out with your girlfriend who just got back from this trip. And I was like, okay. So I went with that. So I like texted D and I was like, hey, like, I don't think I want to go to this party today. Like, can we just hang out? And she was like, yeah, sure. Like, I really want that. I was like, okay, cool. So like, I got off of work at 5. She got off of work at 5:30. So I was like, I'll just come get you from work and then we'll like go hang out and do whatever. So she was like, okay. So I got off of work. When I got off of work, I went to D's job and waited for her to come off of work. And then I was like so excited, so happy, blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, like, hey babe, kiss you. We go to like this little eatery thing or whatever it was. It just had a whole bunch of food. Just like sitting down, talking, like, tell me about your trip, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like, she's talking to me. And something just does not feel right. Something doesn't feel like we are connected. Something just feels totally off. Looking at her and I'm like, yo, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? And then she like looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, listen, like, is something going on? Like, is something happening? Like, you're not telling me something. So then this is when she gets into the, didn't you notice that like I wasn't talking to you as much when I was away or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, but I told you about that. Like, we addressed that. And I'm like, were you doing it on purpose? And she was like, kinda. And I'm like, so you weren't talking to me on purpose? And she was like, oh, I wasn't talking to you. It was kind of everybody, but like, yeah. She was kind of just telling me how like she's been thinking for a while that like her and I are not like made for each other, and that mind you, we're like in fucking public, and she's like, we're sitting at this little table, whatever, eating and blah blah blah, and she's like, yeah, I don't think we were made for each other. I don't remember her exact words, this was so long ago, but she kind of was like, I don't think we're made for each other, and you know, I like want my life to go this way and you kind of want your life to go that way, and I just don't think I think we're two different people. I'm kind of looking at her like, are you breaking up with me right now? And she was like, I don't know. Like, she was so frazzled to say that, and I'm like looking around like, this bitch can't be serious. Like, still trying to like get the words out and whatever, like telling me why we're not working. So again, I'm like, are you breaking up with me right now? And then she was just like, I'm like, wow. So now I'm sitting here, she's talking to me, I don't remember what she was saying, but like I'm on my phone texting everybody at this point, because as you guys know, if you watched my coming out story video, that video, I don't even remember if I mentioned it in that video, but in that video I did say that I was going to live with D at the time because my mother had kicked me out of the house for coming out to her for having a girlfriend. So I went to go live with my girlfriend. So now that my girlfriend wasn't my girlfriend anymore, I had to find another place to go to. So in that particular moment, she was like talking and I was like on the phone, like texting friends, telling them what's going on. Like I had to text a friend in Connecticut being like, I need to come live with you, like for the next who knows how long, because I did not get my shit together when I was with her. Like, and it was just such an eye-opener, because I was with D for a year and 5 months, or a year and a half, whatever. Like literally in 2 weeks it would have been a year and a half, and I did not get my shit together at all. Like all I did was play, and I got so complacent, I got so comfortable with the way we were living that by the time I was trying, and that we were trying to change our lifestyles, it was kind of too late. I was just kind of like texting everybody being like, listen, like she just broke up with me, like I'm gonna have to like pack my shit up tonight and dip. And everybody's like, you're kidding. I'm like, I am not kidding. Like, I am not joking. She literally just broke up with me. So in shock. I was so mad. I was so furious. And it was just, she was just telling me how like she was having a conversation with her friend and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, but you're not dating your friend. And if you are, like, you ain't tell me. I was pretty much just like in go mode. Like the same energy that I had to get out of my mother's house and move in with her is the same energy I had to get out of her house to move in with somebody else. And at that point, I just realized my life was a series of just like moving in with people and not establishing something on my own. I didn't end up leaving her house until 2 nights after, but I remember the Friday, I didn't go to work that Friday because I had to pack my shit. So I had everything around her house. Like I had bins and bins upon bins, and I had stuff in drawers, I had stuff in the closets, like I had stuff upstairs, I had stuff downstairs, and I had to gather everything. I could not really walk, I couldn't really eat, I couldn't really do anything. I had no energy. Like every time I would do something, I would like collapse on the floor and cry because I just could not believe something like this was happening to me again. Like, and I could not believe that it was gonna happen so quickly. I remember every maybe hour or two, I was like collapsed on the floor, like just entangled in clothes because I just could not believe it. Then I would try to go back to sleep, and then I would wake up like in a panic because I could not believe it was happening. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this shit together. before, you know, she comes back and blah, blah, blah. And it just did not happen. Saturday, after all my stuff was packed up, well, she drove me up to Connecticut. So I was gonna live with my friend. And then that was it. Like, we said our goodbyes, and that was pretty much what it was. Like, in the matter of 2 days, I kind of packed all my shit up and moved to a different state. Like, you're always gonna have a place in my heart, but I'm never gonna forget, like, the way you just did that, you know? Kind of reflect and to look back at that time, like, yeah, it does hurt, and it does, like, bring up memories, especially of me just, like, being on her floor crying because I didn't get my shit together in time, and that was my fault. I had a plan when I moved in, and I did not execute that plan at all. Like, I was not supposed to be there for that long. I wasn't supposed to lollygag for that long. Like, I wasn't supposed to do anything that I did for that long. I was supposed to get in there and bounce. But again, like, when you just living with your partner, like, shit just gets so complacent, shit just gets so easy that I fucked up the opportunity that I had there. But again, learn from that and grow from that. So that is the breakup story of how K and D is really no more. We don't talk like that anymore. And like, if you would ask her, maybe she'll say that we do talk. But in my eyes, like, how we were and how we are now, like, we don't talk. Like, we don't even ask each other like, how you doing? Like, we don't say what's up. We don't, no. Like, if we talk about something, it's like we're talking about a TV show, or we're talking about something that we had to eat, like, and that's every once in a while. Like, we really don't talk. So in my eyes, no, we don't talk. But that's it. Like, I wish her all the best, like, whatever she's looking for in life. Like, she expressed to me what she's looking for, but like, yeah, looking back at it now, like, her lifestyle and my lifestyle does not match up at all. And if one day, like, if she comes over to my lifestyle, if I go over to her lifestyle, like, maybe, but I don't even think that. It's just me being really honest. Like, I don't think the way our lives are going right now, like, we can't even talk right now. Like, we are not even cool right now. So how we gonna be exactly. Anyway, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for listening to the breakup story. It is what it is. No hard feelings anymore. So go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment stating your breakup story. Like I said, I like to chat, so let's chat in the comment sections below. So again, I will see you guys on the next video. Then whatever. Peace.